everybody. Right before I pressed record, I took a deep breath, and I think I'm actually going to take one more. So maybe everyone out there with me, just breathe in and out. That was helpful for me. I've been running around all morning with a sick child and lots of work to do. So to all of you out there who are juggling all of it, I understand, and I know Shoma understands. So welcome back, everybody. To those who don't know me, my name is Lisa Harris. I am an author, a storyteller, a narrative coach certified in narrative therapy, and the CEO and founder of Lisa Harris and Company. We are a personal development and coaching business that connects, guides, and transforms women's lives through the power of storytelling. My main mission is to help high achieving women shift their narratives and reclaim their personal power through the lens of their own life stories. And I am thrilled to be back either in your email inbox or on your newsfeed somewhere in the social media lands to introduce to you one of our next co-hosts. So I have had the honor to meet this beautiful and smart woman through another woman in our network who also has gone through our programs and shared her very personal and powerful story on our Unveiled Beauty stage. But I'm here to introduce you to Shoma. Hello, Shoma.
Hi, Lisa.
We're so thrilled to have you. Oh, I totally interrupted you.
No, I'm just thanking you for allowing me the space to be here. It's always so lovely to chat with you.
Thank you. I'm so happy you are here. So for those of you who are fairly new to what we do here at Lisa Harris and Company, I just wanted to share with you a little bit more about Unveiled Beauty Holding Hands. So this is the online fall event series that we started back in 2020 when the world kind of did its thing, right? And we wanted to still connect with women. And we started this online series for women to connect, to comfort, and to share their lived experiences as they were going through the pandemic and a lot of other racial unrest that was happening here, specifically in the Twin Cities. So we started in 2020, and here we are in 2022, and we are still providing this online community. And so this year we did a fall series. We had 3 events, and this is our final event of the season. And it's going to be on Thursday, November 17th from 7 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the topic that we are exploring with women is called My Career, Superpower, Purpose, and Change. And as I mentioned, Shoma Hokanson is one of our co-hosts. So I would like her to share a little bit about herself so you can get to know her. And we'll talk a little bit more about the event in a moment. So Shoma, could you share with our audience a little bit about you?
Yes, love to. Again, thank you, Lisa, for providing me the space and inviting me to be part of your amazing event. You have built such an amazing, beautiful community of women. So I'm really honored to be a part of it. So a little bit about me. First and foremost, I'm a mom. I have 2 kids, a 14-year-old boy and a 11-year-old girl, 12-year-old, almost 12. Goodness gracious, they grow up fast. And I always like to start out with that because that's who I am, first and foremost, before anything else, career and other parts of life. I am married. I lose track of that too, 20 years. I have to start doing that. Kind of like when you get to a certain age and you have to start like counting on your fingers all the time.
Right.
But I live in the Twin Cities. I'm just 10 minutes north of St. Paul. And my first job actually moved me to Minnesota. I started my career out of college at a large technology company working in sales. And after going through 6 months of sales school in Chicago, which is where I'm originally from, I was told that my sales territory was going to be in Minneapolis. And I still remember that feeling of being completely devastated at that time. I'd never stepped foot in the state of Minnesota. And I was like, where am I going? And I was told that it's a very lovely cosmopolitan city, and trust me, you'll like it. And it truly was a blessing in disguise. I met my husband here 10 months after I moved and have really obviously built my family here and built my career here. After doing several years of sales and technology, I realized that as much as I love the relationship aspect of sales, I didn't love so much the quota and some of the other pressures that come along with sales, and that I felt I was a better fit for marketing and some of those other types of sales support activities. So I decided to go back for my MBA, and went as far away as I could. I went to Seattle. I enrolled at the University of Washington because I knew in my heart of hearts that if I didn't ever take an opportunity to leave the Midwest, at that time, it was never going to happen. And it was truly such a blessing. 2 amazing years there. Awesome program, even better friends, and had a really great experience there, and focused in on both marketing and entrepreneurship as far as my studies went. And then after graduation, I did move back to Minnesota since my husband and I got married, and that's when I started my career in medical devices, and still at the same company today. So over 16 years working in medical devices, and throughout that time, obviously had a number of different roles in marketing and medical education and communications. And currently I work in project management in a group that we call corporate accounts. And it is fantastic. I really love it because the growth opportunities have been awesome. But I think, like what most people experience and would get, is that it's been kind of this, right? As I've been journeying through my career. And throughout that time, I felt, there's been times where I felt that, gosh, I need a little bit more creativity. And so I started a couple side hustles along the way. I started a chocolate show that ended up being a 5-year stint called the Twin Cities Chocolate Extravaganza. Did that early on in my career. And it's funny, I look back and I'm like, how did I do that? We didn't have kids at the time. That's how I did that.
That's how you did it. Yeah.
That's how I did it. My husband likes to remind me. He's like, do you remember how many nights and weekends you were working on that? I'm like, I don't remember, because it was such a passion for me. And I think it really gets to how creativity fuels people's souls. And it was a fun thing to do. It was basically a trade show open to the public. People could come in for chocolate wine. We had chocolate fashion shows, cooking demos. It was an experience. And as you can imagine, it was probably 80% women that showed up to this thing. But it was fun to offer an experience to women. That was kind of my thing. I love event planning, and I love providing people memorable experiences. And so did that. And then, I had my first kid. And once he turned a year old, I ended up selling that business and really focused on being a mom and focused in on my career. And that's where I really started, kind of doubling down on what I wanted to grow into in my career. So,
yeah, I love that. I mean, it's a very familiar journey that I think a lot of women can resonate with. I also do think that what's interesting in your story specifically is this entrepreneur and creative spark. And we have had conversations before, but when you are the type of woman who has that in you and is also pursuing a very technical, very professional industry or space or career, that it's important to be mindful of that spirit and to find ways to tend to it, right? So again, can just be something as simple as hobbies, can be something more profound as a side project, or who knows what that could turn to in the future. And that's something to always be mindful of, because it will show its face in some way down the road if it hasn't already. But thank you for sharing all of that and sharing pieces of you with us here today. The event is about our careers, and the way that we do it at Lisa Harrison Company is a little different. We invite our co-hosts to lead these conversations, but really take it into a sensitive or a vulnerable space. really to have the conversations that most career conversations or leadership conversations where they're not going. So we really want our co-hosts to open up and share some of the challenges that most people really don't want to talk about, and also really sharing the journey. And so with that in mind, maybe you can share with everyone a little bit about why you wanted to come and talk about career, or maybe what you might be talking about a little bit at this event.
Yes, I'd love to. And I think this is a conversation that isn't had in a broad setting. We might have it with a spouse or partner or trusted friends, but it's not something that I feel people are open and willing to come out and share the struggles and the journey that we go through, but as well as the breakthroughs and the growth that happens as well. What really attracted me to being a part of this event was my journey and my background. So I grew up in an Indian household, and like many Asian households, number one focus was education and respecting your elders. And so I'll be talking a little bit on how that, those values that were instilled and ingrained in me as a kid, how that actually played out early in my career. I had a hard time telling my bosses no. I was very intimidated by going against the grain, offering a differing opinion. And it's funny because it showed. If you look at my reviews, like the first 5 years of my company, they're all consistent. Shoma can be more assertive. And I was like, well, dang, I have, at the time I couldn't articulate it this way, but I had an underlying fear of being assertive, right?
Yeah.
What are people going to think? What are they going to say about me? Am I going to sound stupid? Am I going to say something dumb? So there was all this like constant insecurity and fear that was playing into my day-to-day role. And while I was, achieving my goals and on the surface looking successful, that insecurity was really keeping me pushed down.
Yeah.
And I'll talk a little bit about that and how over the years I was able to come into my power and break out of that mold and really be able to figure out how to play to my strengths, and how mentors and really good managers have played a role in building up that confidence.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I think that's so important. And like those who've been to our events in the past, I like to bring women together that have very different backgrounds, right? And I always say it's not just about your ethnic background. It's not just about where you grew up or your educational journey that you've taken, but also, your professional background, and to bring different women together to really have these conversations. And this topic really resonates with me. I completely understand. I think it's really important, especially for heart-centric leaders and organizations, to understand and continue to be educated on D&I, because there is definitely cultural impacts that are deeply rooted in some of our most high-achieving, most highest potential employees, that if we are not aware and able to navigate and help them bring that out, to really step into it, you may not know the potential that's actually in your building. And you may be pushing it aside or pushing it to other jobs or other departments, when in actuality, there is a diamond right there in your organization. And so I love that we're going to explore that with you, and hopefully it'll resonate. I know it resonates with me, but I hope it resonates with a lot more other women, and anyone who's out here watching and listening to our conversation. If this is intriguing, we have a lot of conversations we're going to talk about for sure. But if this does speak to you, we hope that you'll join us. It's going to be, I know, an amazing conversation. We have 3 other co-hosts along with you, and they have a lot of different backgrounds, and I'm super excited to see how the 4 of you bring this all together. And I know it's going to be powerful, just like all the other events we've had this year. So with all of that, Shoma, can you maybe share with anybody who's listening why this event? You and we just talked about before getting on here, we are so busy. I mean, life is really busy. especially if you're in the roles that we have and, the ages we are and managing family and career. Why should women take some time to come to this event specifically?
It'll fill your cup, really. I mean, taking an opportunity, I feel like for me, it's a form of self-care by being able to step away from your everyday life and your everyday responsibilities, go pour yourself your favorite beverage, get on your comfy couch, throw open your laptop and join the Zoom event, because it is an opportunity to break away and have vulnerable conversations that you normally don't have. And I encourage anyone to join, whether you want to participate in the conversation or you just want to sit back and watch, because that's okay too. Lisa, you've always been very thoughtful in allowing people to share only as much as they're comfortable. And so if you just, if this topic resonates with you, if you worked, and just want to hear what other women are going through in terms of their journey, I feel like with 99.9% confidence that everyone is going to resonate with some topic, because, we're kind of talk about career, right? That's the overarching topic, but it's also about purpose and, what our purpose is. We're women, we're all women, and a lot of us are moms. And we work. So, where do we identify? How do we identify first and foremost? And then just the change that our careers have brought about personally. And then another topic we're also going to discuss is burnout, because I feel like that is something a lot of people, for better or for worse, is experiencing. And so how we as women are juggling multiple balls in the air, and what society's expectations are of that. So, yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of interesting topics we're going to hit on for sure. So
I love it. I am so excited, selfishly so excited, because for those of you out there who know, I really give our co-hosts autonomy to bring this event together and to bring it to life. Understanding the bedrock of this brand and my mission, they really bring it together. And it's always a treat for me to see how these incredible women, how their energies and their personalities mix together to create something very beautiful, by serving other women, by sharing themselves. So I am excited, absolutely excited to see how this all comes to light. And I know it's going to be absolutely amazing. So thank you again, Shoma, for being in our sisterhood, for being in our community and sharing yourself. I appreciate you. And I know all the women who will meet you via online in the Zoom world will also appreciate you as well. So thank you again for today, for introducing yourself to our audience. And for everyone watching today, we hope that we will see you. We know we will see you, because we know this is important. And our event is going to be on Thursday, November 17th. And it's going to be from 7 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we have women from all over the country who typically join us. So we hope you will be one of them. And our event is called My Career, Superpower, Purpose, and Change. So we hope to see you there. And thank you again, Shoma.
Thank you, Lisa. So lovely to see you.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you there.